Top 5 Youngest American Killers. Number 5 Alyssa Bustamente. Alyssa is an American killer from St. Martins, Missouri, who murdered Elizabeth Alton, a 9-year-old neighbor, when she was 15 years old because she thought it would be amazing to try and a fun thrill. Though she only had one victim, it was uncovered that she had dug up multiple graves, which police suspected were for her younger siblings. Alyssa convinced her younger sister to bring Alton to the forest behind their homes to hang out. Alyssa would then go on to strangle her victim before slitting her throat and stabbing her 8 times in the chest. Alyssa then buried Alton's body in a grave that she had dug 5 days before in the woods behind her house and covered the grave with leaves. After the murder, Bustamante wrote in her journal that she had just killed someone. She had strangled them and slit their throat and stabbed them, and now they were dead. She also continued to state that it was quite enjoyable. During her trial, she showed little remorse for her actions. Alyssa Bustamente pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. She is currently serving a life sentence with the possibility of parole. Before we continue, hit the subscribe button. Number 4. Michael Hernandez. Michael Hernandez was an American killer from Florida who openly admitted that he wanted to be a serial killer. His sole victim, Jaime Goff, was his best friend, and he stabbed him to death at only 14 years of age. When officials found Goff's body lying lifeless in the school bathroom, Hernandez was immediately investigated. Police found very detailed plans to kill 2 other students at the school. Hernandez claimed he wanted to be one of the most famous serial killers of all time. Hernandez stabbed Goff more than 40 times and slit his throat after luring him into a bathroom at Southwood Middle School in 2004. Hernandez told police that he stashed the knife in a hidden compartment of his backpack and proceeded to class. He was found guilty of first-degree murder in 2008 and sentenced to life behind bars. Michael Hernandez died of heart complications in 2021 while still incarcerated. Number 3. Craig Price. Craig Price is an American serial killer who committed his crimes in Warwick, Rhode Island between the ages of 13 and 15. He was arrested for 4 murders, being that of a woman, her 2 daughters, and the unsolved murder of another woman who had been killed 2 years prior. Price committed his first murder at the age of 13 when he broke into a home that was only 2 houses away from his own, whereupon he took a knife from the kitchen and stabbed 27-year-old Rebecca Spencer 58 times. 2 years later, when Price was a 15-year-old freshman in high school, he murdered 3 other neighbors on September 1, 1989, by stabbing 39-year-old Joan Heaton 57 times, her 10-year-old daughter Jennifer 62 times, and crushed the skull of Heaton's 7-year-old daughter Melissa and inflicted 30 stab wounds on her. Price calmly confessed to his crimes after he was discovered. He was arrested a month before his 16th birthday and was tried and convicted as a minor. By law, this meant that he would be released and his criminal record sealed when he turned 21. This case led to changes to allow juveniles to be tried as adults for serious crimes, but this could not be applied retroactively to Price. Number 2. Javi Robinson. Javi Robinson is an American serial killer currently imprisoned on death row in Pennsylvania. He was only 18 years old when he committed his violent spree, killing 3 and injuring 2. His first victim was Joan Berghardt, a 29-year-old nurse's aide who Robinson sexually abused and bludgeoned in her East Allentown home. This was followed by the abduction, sexual assault, and stabbing of 15-year-old newspaper carrier Charlotte Schmoyer. Charlotte's body was found in a heavily wooded area nearby, sexually assaulted and stabbed over 20 times. The following month, Robinson strangled 47-year-old grandmother Jessica Fortney. Another victim, Denise Sam Kelly, who was beaten and sexually assaulted in her home shortly after Schmoyer's killing, escaped alive. Robinson reportedly returned to her house. On July 31, a police officer who was waiting for Denise's attacker exchanged gunfire with Robinson, and Robinson was tracked to a local hospital where he had sought treatment for injuries. Linked to the 3 killings by DNA evidence, Robinson was convicted in November 1994 and sentenced to death in all 3 cases. Number 1. Jasmine Richardson. Jasmine Richardson was 12 years old when she killed both her parents and 8-year-old brother. These murders were spurred on by her parents' disapproval of her relationship with 23-year-old Jeremy Steinke, who claimed to be a 300-year-old werewolf. These murders took place after Jasmine's parents had grounded her for her relationship with Steinke. Jasmine initially proposed the idea via email to commit the murders to Steinke, who helped fine-tune how they would do it. It is believed that on the 23rd of April 2006, Jeremy would kill Jasmine's parents while she was in her brother's room. Jasmine was originally not a suspect in the murders, with police thinking she had been kidnapped by the killer. However, a trail of digital evidence led police straight to her and Steinke. Jasmine was sentenced to 6 years in jail and 4 years in supervised release in the community. In May of 2016, her sentence was completed and she was released with no court restrictions.